Is Elon Musk right or wrong? This is the question that we ask a lot, and usually we know the answer. Most of the time, he will be right, just not on the timetable that he's promising. And that's something that we have learned over the last few years. But I wanted to find out back in 2011, almost a decade ago, and I specifically picked that year because that's when the original Tesla Model S unveiling took place. Was he right about some of the statements, some of the goals and visions that he outlined? How did they pan out now, 9 years later? We're gonna go through about 4 of those and see if he was right or he was wrong. Welcome to E4Electric, your #1 source of electric car scoop. If you are interested in everything that's going on in the world of electric cars and Elon Musk, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Now, some of you, especially my newer viewers, may not know that I was the original 2012 Tesla Model S owner. I was part of the first 3000 batch. As a matter of fact, I'm looking over there on my wall, a sun visor that I took out of that car before I sold it, that was signed by Elon Musk. I was part of that group that everybody thought were stupid. Everybody thought that, buying this electric car from this new manufacturer, from this former PayPal executive, was absolutely ridiculous. But I did it anyway because I thought that was sort of something that my generation has owed to the world. And that's why I did it. And I bought 2 more Tesla Model S cars after that until I decided I'm going to take a break. I have picked 4 different, very important visionary statements that Elon Musk had, not just for Tesla, but for the electric car community, and we're gonna go over them right now. As I mentioned before, the event that I'm going to be showing you the footage from was the original Model S beta unveiling. Now, normal car manufacturers, and by normal I mean the legacy car manufacturers, would just call it the final unveiling. The concept, the Model S concept unveiling, happened back in 2009. However, at that time, even Elon Musk didn't really know what it was going to become. So I picked the 2011 event when the vision that he and Tesla had was pretty clear. Let's start with #1, and this is where Elon claimed that this car should not be just the best electric car, but should be the best car, period, in the world.
So our goal here with the Model S was to create not the best electric car, but actually the best car of any kind. What we're really trying to show here with the Model S is that an electric car is not almost as good as a gasoline car. It's way better.
I believe that vision of creating a car that's going to be the best car in the market, regardless of what kind of fuel powers it, essentially became the foundation of Tesla's success. This is the reason that I decided to gamble on this young brand and buy a $100,000 car from a very, very young manufacturer at that time, actually, halfway into bankruptcy, because I really did believe that I bought the best car ever made. And even now, I believe that Tesla Model S still is the best car ever made in the version that they're making it right now. Now, I want to hear from you, and let me know in the comment section, what do you think makes Tesla Model S the best car on the market? Or maybe you disagree with me. Now, I'll tell you my reasons, and these are all of the reasons that Elon covered in the original unveiling. As a matter of fact, let me give you a quick collage of him explaining these very features.
Because we don't have an engine in the front, where you're forced to have a short crumple zone or have the engine go through your chest, which would obviously be bad, we actually have a crumple zone that's about 3 times longer than a normal sedan would have. So it has a huge length over which it can absorb the energy. And something you may already have heard about is we announced yesterday that there's going to be a performance version of the Model S. People are so used to going from their consumer electronics device to their car, and the car is so much further behind. And we wanted to have something where the car is actually, in some respects, ahead of what you have as your computer or personal electronic device. So if you go to a really hot or cold place, well, there's no reason for you to come back to a frozen car or a baking hot car. The car will just automatically maintain temperature.
Now, if you look closely at the article that New York Times had that day, ironically enough, it was an article about dealing with protesters in New York City. And mind you, this was October of 2011. And of course, the feature that they were not talking about back in 2011, but now became one of the biggest reasons why people buy the Model S or any Tesla for that matter. Of course, that's the autopilot and the full self-driving package. Before I go to the next one, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by yet another entity like this YouTube channel that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Elon Musk, and I am talking about Avanex, the Tesla community's accessory store. Use E4Electric, the name of this channel, as the discount code for all of your purchases over $100. Now let's move on to number 2, and this is the fact that a lot of people and a lot of groups out there didn't really want this car to exist.
Sort of your typical naysayers. In some cases, they're funded by the oil companies and they have nefarious objectives in mind. And they almost don't want this car to exist.
Now, of course, Elon mentioned big oil, and yes, obviously that's not in their best interest. However, I never thought that they were essentially the direct enemy of the electric car revolution because, you know, sooner or later, and they've already started converting themselves from selling just oil and gas to selling green energy. So I think they will be fine. They just needed to be forcefully convinced. But there were many others that would never be able to make money if the world would move to the electric cars. And one of those forces are still around. As a matter of fact, they're the reasons that legacy manufacturers have not made as much progress as you would think they would, especially with Tesla essentially dragging them there, and that's the dealerships, especially here in the United States. As you know, dealerships won't make any money when they will be selling electric cars because right now when they sell a car, well, they don't make that much money. They make much more money once that car comes back for service. And as you know, electric cars don't really need much service, if any at all. Now, dealerships is the reason why Tesla couldn't sell their cars in many states, and there's still some states where you can't easily buy a Tesla, believe it or not. But of course, dealerships are mainly responsible for Audi, BMW, and all legacy manufacturers for not allowing them to move forward as fast as they would want to because they essentially don't have an outlet, a committed outlet to sell those electric cars. Let's move on to number 3, and I think this one is very important.
There's always a danger that the electric car revolution could stall out, that people could say, well, you know, it was a nice try, but you know, they couldn't make a go of it, so you know, let's sort of abandon the whole electric car idea and go back to fossil fuels. We cannot let that happen.
Now, this is very important because by the time the Model S hit the market in 2012, the world only knew of electric cars, well, one by their quick encounter with General Motors EV1, but mainly by their encounter with the Nissan Leaf, which was not a good car in any shape or form, and its shape or form had a lot to do with it. I mean, let's face it, it was pretty fugly. So I can easily argue that if it wasn't for Tesla Model S coming on the market as a mass production car that showed everybody that electric cars could be not only as good as gas cars, but even better, if that didn't happen, I can easily argue that the Nissan Leaf would essentially kill the entire electric car movement, and I might have been one of the people doing that. So far, we've talked about 3 different visionary goals that Elon Musk had back in 2011, and if you ask me, he has successfully achieved all of them. Let me know if you disagree in the comment section. However, let's talk about one that I think he got wrong, at least for the time being.
And then also we're going to allow a whole series of apps to be developed for the car. So over time, as people come up with good ideas and cool things that can be added to the car, we can just add it in. If somebody's developed an app for an iPhone or an Android phone, and it makes sense to add to the car, it's very easy to adapt it for that.
So obviously the App Store will probably happen not just for Tesla, but for many other manufacturers. And, Tesla did make some moves last year where they've added Netflix and a few different games, something that reminds you of an App Store. But as far as developers developing applications specifically for electric cars or for Tesla, that hasn't happened yet. When it does, it would be absolutely amazing. Let me know in the comment section which app do you think we will all embrace the most once Tesla or any other manufacturer would allow an app store in their cars? All right, think what you want of Elon Musk, of course. And as you know, here on this channel, I've been on both sides. I have praised them and I've criticized them, I think, equally, though some people might disagree. But bottom line is, he is definitely the leader of the electric car revolution. And without him, none of it would be possible. As a matter of fact, I would not even be doing this. So thank you to Elon Musk. I'm looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time. And remember to stay charged.